Hi, my name is Adeline Wharton. I am a parishioner of St. Jude in DeWitt, and I am newly confirmed as of 2020. I have three beautiful children. One is a senior in high school. I have one that is in sixth grade, middle school, and a little girl that, both are boys, and a little girl that is in third grade. She actually just received her first reconciliation shortly after I received my confirmation. It was a very busy year despite COVID and an amazing experience, I will be honest. I was very excited for both ceremonies. Um, I was raised Catholic. My grandmother actually converted to Catholicism in order to marry my grandfather, very old fashioned times. In fact, people are still doing it today, which is nice. They worked really hard to raise my mother and my uncle, and my mother worked hard to raise my brother and myself in a strong Catholic home with very strong values. I was raised in a very old-fashioned home when it came to practicing Catholicism. You weren't allowed to eat breakfast before Mass. Um, you always made sure you did the rosary. You had to make sure you went to confession prior to receiving the body of Christ. And I used that as the driving force to raise my children. Now, you're supposed to become confirmed when you're in high school, usually junior high, at least when I was younger. And I was given the choice, just like most were, and just like I gave my oldest son. And I chose not to pursue that path. I'm not quite sure why I chose not to be confirmed. It's been many years. However, I did decide to raise my children Catholic. I worked really hard to make sure that they attended Mass regularly. They attended Sunday school since they weren't attending private school, that we read scriptures, that we prayed together as a family. We did the rosaries together. We worked really hard because of the way I was raised. However, I still didn't feel the need as I raised them to make my final sacrament for confirmation. And it took me a little bit of time. My grandmother was dying about a year ago, and she never asked me. She never made me feel guilty for it. She was just very elated that I decided to raise my children Catholic and go down the same path that she set for us, making that decision many years ago to marry my grandfather. And I felt that it was necessary to continue. I felt that it was time to make the decision to become confirmed. I had already gone through all of the steps before. I attended Mass. I made sure that I raised my children Catholic. I made sure that they all received reconciliation. I made sure that my son had all options in front of him in hopes that he would become confirmed. And sure enough, he did. It was a very proud moment in our family when he became confirmed through St. Jude. We were very elated. I spoke to my grandmother a lot of times about her decision to become Catholic and why she did it and what her driving force was. And it all came down to love. It came down to the love of family and to the belief that there is a higher power, someone that is there as a guiding force to help us along our way. Okay. And it was nice to hear that story from her several times. I spoke to my son, who was already confirmed, and why he chose to do it. And he felt that it brought everything full circle. He felt that to be a leader in our family, to have a strong sense in the Lord, that he needed to finish what I had started for him. And so I felt that it was time. After my grandmother passed away, I pursued, once my daughter started her first reconciliation classes, I decided to reach out to St. Jude to see about becoming confirmed. And we started the program and the classes, and it was great. It was very enlightening. I remembered a lot of things that I had forgotten from going to Catholic school to then going to a Catholic college and taking many courses, from listening to my children tell me about what they learned in Sunday school and how it made them feel. Um, it was a great experience. The one thing I love about a Catholic church, and especially about St. Jude, is the feeling of family and togetherness. I always feel like the doors are wide open and that they're very welcoming. That was one thing I loved when I moved to St. John's. When we moved here, I looked at two different Catholic churches, and I decided upon St. Jude because of Father Bob and because of the programs that were offered through St. Jude. And what made the decision solidified was when a gentleman from the parish brought over the newsletter and brought over our church envelopes after I'd filled out the application online. And it was amazing feeling to see someone from a parish that I hadn't even stepped foot in Mass show up at my driveway and just hand it to me and say, welcome to the church. It was a great experience. I thought it was wonderful. And it made me feel as if it was the right choice. My children continued to attend Sunday school, and they came home excited and ready and willing to talk about it. And I loved that feeling. I love to learn from them and see it through their eyes. And it's things like that that makes me happy that I decided to continue with the sacrament of confirmation. It confirms everything that I had wished for and hoped for. The confirmation process was actually a really great experience. I had one-on-one meetings, and we went over a series of books and series of readings, which is wonderful. There was apps that were provided that I could read on my own. It was eye-opening. It was great to see it as an adult, because as a child, I feel like sometimes you don't see the full picture. But as you're developing as a teenager, you start to question everything. And it was a great environment to add those questions. And it brought back a lot of memories to the questions that I've had over the years, questions that I never had answered or maybe never sought an answer for. And the program at St. Jude was amazing. It provided all of those answers. And it even helped bring more questions to the surface that I never thought about. I've really enjoyed becoming confirmed. I feel, for once, complete. And I hope that you continue down the same path.